Support comes from Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to sustainable and sound conservation of the state's forests, which support more than 41,000 Missouri jobs, resulting in a $10 billion industry. ChooseWood.com.
There's help out there, but the help that is there, it's not really meant for them.
Oh gosh, I've seen ways to scale up. I've seen incorporated new ways of marketing. I incorporated, the biggest thing I learned was to always be mindful of your audience.
I'm Sarah Fensky. St. Louis on the Air continues right after this.
Hi, I'm Alex Hoyer, executive producer for St. Louis on the Air. Before today's episode, I want to take a moment to say thank you for listening and choosing this podcast. Our team works hard to provide nuance on the news that shapes your life and your community. We wouldn't be able to do this without your support. The money you give to St. Louis Public Radio helps fund this podcast. So please go to stlpr.org/donate and give an amount that works for you. Your contribution, along with that of your neighbors, is what fuels St. Louis on the Air. We're really grateful. And again, that website is stlpr.org/donate. And thanks.
Last week, Gwen Logan Craig won $10,000. Now, that would be good news, even if her victory was pure luck. But Gwen was chosen on the merits. The $10,000 prize came from a newish nonprofit in St. Louis, one aimed at lifting Black entrepreneurs like Gwen. And joining us today to talk about it is Gwen Logan Craig. She's the founder of MVT Virtual Learning and the first ever winner of Grind Plus Growth's pitch competition. So, Gwen, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
And we're also joined today by Valerie Liddell. She's the founder and CEO of Grind Plus Growth. So, Valerie, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Valerie, I want you to start by having you tell us a bit about this pitch competition that Gwen just won. What were you looking for from contestants?
Okay, I was looking for just a group of contestants who were very creative. I wanted the group of contestants to be in different stages of their business development, as far as the idea stage, the early stage, the growth stage. And I just wanted a mixture of entrepreneurs so they can learn from one another through this entire process. And they call that the scaffolding effect. And it worked out very great.
So what kind of hoops did you make them jump through in order to choose your winners?
Oh, wow. So over the course of the 10 weeks, they learned a very intense business education curriculum, and they had a homework assignment every week to present to the class via Zoom. And it was a lot of work they had to do, and just preparing them for pitch day. We taught them how to effectively pitch, how to create an elevator pitch and a business pitch, because there is a difference. And once they put all that together, I held a lot of one-on-one meetings with them outside of the online weekly class, just preparing them in that sense, just coaching and mentoring them, just putting them in the best position possible. And those were the hoops that they jumped through, and they all came for the challenge, and they succeeded at it.
So, Gwen, hearing Valerie discuss this, she herself said, this is a lot of work. Gwen, what got you interested in saying, you know what, I'm going to go for this. I want to take on this work?
Well, one of the ladies I had a consultation with just simply about a grant writing project, she referred me to Valerie, and even when I applied for it, I was like, I know I'm not going to get this, but I'm going to do something different. I applied for it, and within a few weeks, I got an email from her saying that I was chosen. And so, the money was, of course, the grant is just a plus, but the knowledge that you receive in the program, that's something that cannot be taken away. There's so much good knowledge that we receive in order to apply to our growing businesses.
So even if you hadn't won the money, you feel like this experience would have been worth it for you?
Yes. Within the second week, I was like, there is so much knowledge that we're gaining from this. And not only that, like she said, we're gaining it from each other because there's other people in the group in the sessions that you listen to and you learn from them, and everyone was just very supportive as well.
Valerie, how many entrepreneurs did you have in this cohort?
We had 12 entrepreneurs.
Did you choose that number for a reason? I assume you probably had more people interested in this than you could handle.
Yes. Actually, we started off with 21. We accepted 21 into the program, and not all 21 lasted. And so we had our final 12, I think about week 4. And that final 12, they just stuck in there and they just kept going.
I imagine, Valerie, there's probably some advantages of kind of winnowing out people who maybe don't have the time to be dedicated, getting it to that more intimate group. Did you start to really feel things click at that point?
I really did. That was just our sweet spot. And when we continue to do this, I think I'm going to definitely stick it at 12. That was a really great number.
And Gwen, it can be hard in this age of Zoom, when you're able to do in-person networking. It kind of changes everything, and yet you're trying to do this all remotely so you don't give each other the COVID. That's important. Was it hard to bond in this virtual setting?
Not at all. I'm an educator, so I'm already on Zoom in the daytime. So I figure out ways to reach my students, through technology and being able to just be there for them in a sense of through a computer screen. So when we got on in our class, it was almost like that sense of relief and, like just seeing a group of cohorts that you can trust and that were going to lift you up. So it made it worth it.
Seems like you might be most likely to suffer from Zoom fatigue after doing it all day. but no, this really worked. So, Gwen, I want to talk a little bit about this company that you started, because this is what got you into this program and also won you the grant. What is MVT Virtual Learning?
So MVT stands for Most Valuable Teacher. And as soon as the pandemic really hit last year, I had a lot of parents reaching out to me. I mean, some of my friends in different states were reaching out like their anxiety was just through the roof. And their small kids who are used to seeing their peers every day, learning with their peers, that was taken away from them. So they were very nervous that in addition to that, they were going to lose sight of their academic goals. And so I started to do one-on-one virtual tutoring. And as we started to kind of, open back up a little bit, I started to do small groups. And so that's really where that started from, just in a sense to support teachers, not teachers, but to support parents and their small children, and older children as well.
So, Valerie, this concept of doing virtual tutoring, I can see how this feels like a real growth industry right now. What made Gwen the very first place winner coming out of this process of learning how to build these companies?
Gwen, she really proved herself throughout the 10 weeks. And everyone did, every participant that took on the program. And what I noticed in Gwen about week 7, Gwen really started just applying everything that she's learned. And Gwen was on my schedule like twice a week. And so I'm talking to Gwen like twice a week for 1 hour, 2 hours at a time, and just, really helping her and coaching her. And she just really took it seriously. And like on pitch day, I did not expect Gwen to pitch like that. She took, it was absolutely, I was like, it was a very proud moment for me. Just the way she presented her pitch, and she took everything that we taught her and she just made it awesome.
And Gwen, throughout this process, were you seeing ways to scale up this business or to pivot with this business? What did you learn throughout the course of that 10 weeks?
Oh, gosh, yes. I've seen ways to scale up. I've seen and incorporated new ways of marketing. I incorporated. The biggest thing I learned was to always be mindful of your audience. And that was one thing that Valerie, really honed in on was, who's your audience? What are you going to say to your audience? What makes you unique? And so that was really one thing that I've learned, it's just like being purposeful, in every single thing you do with your business. And that's, what's really important that I learned from her.
So Gwen, is the idea now that this could become something where you would take this on full time, or are you still not at that point yet?
It's still an option. I have a lot of parents that are, reaching out. It's just based on the need of it. Right now, I have a lot of parents, I'm looking for more parents, always looking for more students to work with and be a part of their learning growth. So it's really just, I'm not opposed to it. I love doing it. I love being an educator. I just love working with small kids and older kids and watching them grow.
Valerie, I'm also curious about your story. You started your journey to entrepreneurship back in 2015. Did you have the kind of assistance at that point that you're now giving to people like Gwen?
I did not have that type of assistance at all. There were resources available, but I was not in a position at the time to tap into those resources because they were just may have been like too expensive or too far away to even be able to access them. And so my vision for Grind Plus Growth was to make sure that entrepreneurs like myself didn't have to go through that and deal with those obstacles or barriers. I wanted to remove it out of their way, because one thing about starting a business, you're already nervous, you're already doubting yourself. So it's very important to make sure that while you're on that journey that you have a strong support system to keep you encouraged and to keep you motivated. And that's exactly what Grind Plus Growth does.
Valerie, I understand one of the things that you see as your passion is helping others find their purpose. Are these people who know what they want and they just don't know how to get there? Or do you start even before they know fully what they want?
I say a little bit of both. I'm currently working with a few aspiring entrepreneurs who have an idea and they just don't really know how to bring that idea to life. And so I just sit down with them weekly and we just talk through it and just see how we can turn that into a business model, and just figuring out exactly how to make it a viable business, to see even if it's a viable business. And I work with entrepreneurs who have the idea, they already mapped it out, they may have already gotten their LLC through the state of Missouri, and they're just ready to get it started. And there are entrepreneurs who are just, they want to grow. They're not seeing that profit. They're not seeing the clientele grow, and they're trying to really figure out what they need to do in order to come out of that slump and move forward with their business.
So you're almost their coach.
Yes.
And why do you think it's important for Black entrepreneurs in particular to have that one-on-one coaching and that kind of support that you provide?
I think it's important because they really need it. There's help out there, but the help that is there, it's not really meant for them, if that makes sense. And with Grind Plus Growth, it's more of an understanding, more so of what they need versus just trying to get someone through the door. It's all about purpose. It's about sitting down with them, really trying to tap in and see exactly what's in there and trying to like bring it out.
Gwen, did you feel that maybe some of these other resources that are out there and just for the community more broadly, that it just didn't feel like it was meant for someone like you?
Of course, always. And that's where originally I, second guessed myself even applying for the program because it's geared to everyone. Whereas Valerie's program, even with it being 12 of us, I always felt like the message was always directed towards me. I felt like the knowledge was specifically for me. And that's the push that, small business owners need, small Black business owners that they need.
Mm-hmm. Valerie, I understand as part of these efforts, you're working to create the first Black-owned Missouri certified business incubator in the state. What would that model provide?
That model will still provide the services that we continue to have, but we'll just have the support of Missouri backing us to where we can do more within the community. We'll be provided with more resources, and that's always great to be able to spread out and to be able to impact more lives and be able to just gather more people within a community to support us at the same time.
So that certification will just open more doors for you.
Exactly.
And I do want to mention one part of this. I understand you also have a co-working space that's a part of this. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And Gwen, is that something that has helped you? It sounds like you're frankly so busy. The idea of running a business on top of being an educator, have you been able to get to the co-working space?
Yeah, well, I start the co-working space this summer. That will be the platform for where I'm transitioning my tutoring, more tutoring services. So this summer, I'll have a summer enrichment tutoring services where I'm doing one-on-one with students in that actual space. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh, that's great. So that will let you sort of spread your wings a little bit, having access to that.
Yes.
Valerie, is that part of it for people? They need a little more room to grow, but they're not really ready for an office suite yet.
Yes, and I share with my entrepreneurs all the time, try your best to stay lean and mean with your business, meaning don't go overboard and try to get overhead. Find spaces that you can still be creative in and build your business in, but it is a low cost to your business. I don't want any of them to start their business and go into debt. I want them to build their businesses up to a place to where they are financially secure, their business has strong legs, and when they're ready to truly scale their businesses, maybe after that third year, then look into other financial options, maybe a loan or something like that, or maybe going ahead and getting your own building to house your business in.
So, Valerie, I imagine people listening to this, they might feel like, wow, this 10-week program sounds amazing. I want to get in on this. Are you going to start another one anytime soon?
Yes, we are actually starting back up in August. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to see who all will apply for it. And I'm actually ready to get started. I just love giving back and helping as many people within the community. And this is a free program.
That's amazing that you can provide all of that for free. That's got to be the cherry on top right there. So yes. We want to encourage people, if they're interested to know more about this, you can check out grindplusgrowth.com and get more information on everything that Valerie is up to. And Valerie V. Liddell, I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And Valerie, again, is the founder and CEO of Grind Plus Growth. And then also Gwen Logan Craig. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me.
And Gwen is the founder of MVT Virtual Learning. Remember that name. You may be hearing more about it. On an upcoming show, we plan to discuss questions of compensation, and we want to hear your thoughts on yours. Are you paid what you're worth? If not, what makes you feel a disconnect between your work and your wages? Leave us a voicemail with your name, city of residence, and how you feel about what you're paid at 314-516-6397. That's 314-516-6397. This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio, 90.7 KWMU.
Do you find yourself regularly listening to episodes of St. Louis on the Air? Suggest us to a friend you think might enjoy our conversations. And leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts on the App Store. It's the simplest way to help people discover our show. Thanks.
St. Louis Public Radio is a member-supported service of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, providing more than 41,000 jobs in the production of wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details at choosewood.com.